what? TV party tonight!
Oh, we got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of brews.
Don't want to talk about anything else.
We don't want to know.
We're dedicated
To our favorite shows.
Oh, my circuit!
Everybody loves Hippo Toes.
Scary dog!
Pearson at Blurnsville.
Futurama!
Good evening. You are listening to a Radulich Broadcasting Premier Podcast TV Party Tonight. And I'm your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And tonight, our favorite show is All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing 2022. Double or Nothing was the fourth annual Double or Nothing professional wrestling pay-per-view event produced by All Elite Wrestling. It took place during Memorial Day weekend on May 29, 2022 at the T-Mobile Arena, where the boxing happens, on the Las Vegas Strip in Paradise, Nevada. It was headlined by CM Punk versus cowboy shit Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship. And there were other matches as well, which we'll talk about. I am not alone, by Godfrey. I am...
You're frozen, Marcus. Oh,
Marcus froze.
you have frozen in
we all
time.
froze there for a moment. So suddenly Elsa came in and she let it go. I think we're good now. Go ahead, Neil. What's up?
Hi there. I'm Neil from Movies That Don't Suck and Some Podcasts, and a huge wrestling fan for, 542 years at this point.
And those are in dwarf years. Neil's been on a couple of times now to talk some AEW with us, so we're happy to have him back. And of course, my brother from another mother, ladies and gentlemen from our Canadian office, Chris Bailey. How do you do?
Well, I'm super excited to talk about this show. It literally ended about 5 minutes ago. So, we're really, really getting ready. It started on Sunday, guys. It's, to break the fourth wall. It is now Wednesday, and CM Punk just won that belt. Super excited to talk about that.
Yeah, that 12-hour Iron Man match between Wheeler Yuta and Joey Janela was crazy.
Oh.
I don't understand.
It was.
Oh my god! I just actually during WrestleMania weekend, they have a match. What was called the clusterfuck match. Where
so real quick. I'm gonna let you continue what you were saying, but we reviewed that. So my one of my wrestling buddies, Harry Broadhurst. We call ourselves the Indie-Siders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we once a month or so we'll do two independent wrestling shows within the past 6 weeks that have happened. So we've done House of Glory when Will Ospreay wrestled, Amazing Red. We've done the return of XPW. We did GCW on the World. We did a No Holds Barred show. We've covered the entire collective, but we paid special attention to Joey Janela. We dedicated an entire episode to Joey Janela's Spring Break. That clusterfuck nearly broke us. Okay?
Oh my! I was there.
Holy cow, dude! I watched that with a friend. My friend of mine came over to watch it with me, and by the end of it, we were both like, "I don't ever want to watch wrestling anymore." It was so bad.
I can't remember when it started. It was after one of the wrestling events, and
it started 5 years ago.
Yeah, and it literally was 3:30 in the morning, and we were me and my friend were just I am really tired, and I was I need coffee just to get back to that Airbnb, man.
I was gonna say that is an event. If you sat live through the entire clusterfuck, you needed cocaine to get through it. There was no way. There was no way you couldn't get through that show without illicit substances.
It was crazy.
Ouch.
It was a crazy show.
Yeah.
That is a rave review if I ever heard one right there.
Oh, you should have heard me and Harry talk about it at the time. You ever see two people just emotionally give up on life? That was me and Harry as we were talking about the clusterfuck. Because the rest of Effie versus Death Grandpa Suzuki was the shit, yo. It was so good. There are elements of Joey Janela's Spring Break that were just the tits. Yeah, and then there was that clusterfuck, and it was I need you to walk into the woods to live deliberately. So, all right. So let's talk about the show at hand here. AEW Double or Nothing. Neil, before we jump into this, just real quick, what were you looking forward to here? What were the matches you were anticipating? What are some of the angles that you were really biting into and wanted to see play out on this show? Because I'm going to tell you my answer is none of them. I haven't watched AEW in like months, so I tune in to do these shows. So I watched Revolution, and like if it wasn't for, and credit where credit's due, they've really gotten better about presenting good package. Their package is enormous.
Yeah,
and it's just fantastic.
It's John Holmes size.
Yeah, it's just amazing. AEW puts together an amazing throbbing package that I enjoy.
You put this show on just to say those words, Mark. Admit it.
You know me so well.
Oh yes.
So because I'm able to follow the package and and get you up to date with everything else like it should, I don't feel it necessary to watch AEW weekly, and I don't have the time anymore. But you are watching so religiously. What were you looking forward to?
Well, there's several that I was actually really looking for. One, I was looking for Danhausen because Danhausen is
Danhausen.
Yes.
Danhausen.
I met him at WrestleCon during WrestleMania week, and guy was just the nicest dude in the world. I just couldn't wait.
I've heard he's like really personable, just an all around good dude, like genuinely nice fella.
And stuck in character permanently, which is
great.
Forever.
like I walk up to him, he's like, "Oh, hello," and I was like, "Okay, yes."
Have you heard his cameo? Like they've played a bunch of his cameos on the Jim Cornette show.
No.
Oh my God, this is stuff of pure comedy. It's so great. Like people are like sending him in questions, like serious questions, and he's answering them as Danhausen. It's so good.
Yes, as it should be. He's kayfabe back from the dead. It's great.
Yeah, I love his character. But one I was looking forward to, and maybe the whole movie theater that I was at was looking forward to, was the MJF versus Warlord, because nobody knew if MJF was going to show up after everything going on.
We're going to start the conversation with that, so we'll come back to it. But yes.
Then of course, I am a huge fan of Samoa Joe. So Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole was one that I was like, oh, dude, that's going to be awesome. But then I saw that Britt Baker was going against Ruby Soho, and I was like, okay, if one wins, the other's going to win, and it's going to be couples together. I already knew that. And then, of course,
that literally did take the air out of the tires.
They needed to set that up for like a kiss cam. Just a heart around them.
Anything with Jericho, the Jericho Appreciation Society. I love Jericho because he's just like he's the Madonna of freaking wrestling. I mean, he changes himself every couple of months, and the wizard gimmick is just ridiculous to me. And of course, being a guy from Chicago, CM Punk being in the championship match. I mean, I saw that guy for $5 at the VFW back in like 2001,
right.
Like, so to see him, and now I've seen him win 3 different titles where I've been at, I saw him win a Ring of Honor. I saw him win the World Heavyweight title. And now I got to see him, on pay-per-view, I got to see the AEW title. So that was awesome.
Were you there
in time again? Oh,
yeah, we're having issues tonight. Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Were you there at Money in the Bank when he beat John Cena, or when he cashed in the Money in the Bank that he had won at a previous?
Yes, I was at the Money in the Bank with John Cena.
Nice.
I was there because,
dude.
Yeah, that was like literally. I think that's what caused my first divorce. I was like, I'm going to that match.
Tell me more.
No. Actually, I don't even think I was married at the time. I think I was way past divorce then.
Why our women can't understand us, and why we need to see big meaty men slapping meat and winning titles? I'll never understand.
Oh man, to this day, I'm still chanting the oh from Pat McAfee at WrestleMania. So.
All right, let's talk about MJF, Chris Bailey. So,
yes,
you're my reporter on the scene. You got the scoop, your ear to the ground, so to speak. What was going on with MJF in the lead up to this? The impression I was getting was that, like, he was, I guess his contract is ending and he was trying to, like, renegotiate. There's been scuttlebutt that he would jump over to the WWE. So fill me in and give me the scoop.
His contract is not up for another little while yet. However, his The word is that he's unhappy with his creative push as of right now and his contractual. He's seeing people. Basically, he's seeing people walk in the door at a higher pay scale. This guy is, a little bit down the street when it comes to pay, but yet, offers a big pack to the punch when it comes to, his presence on screen. So, there's a little bit of dispute of, what's my value here with the company. When it comes to that. And plus, he says he wasn't happy with creative. There's all kinds of rumors going around, Mark. What's legit and what's actually happening are two separate things. I think we have a character in MJF who's playing these cards, and, to me, there's a good sense of kayfabe in all of this, to be quite honest with you, because, everybody was fooled into the reports, MJF is, he's not at the arena. You had Dave Meltzer reporting and Brian Alvarez and, MJF, we don't know if he's going to show up. He missed the plane. Well, by God, he was Jennifer Aniston on Friends, and I got off the plane, and he made it. He made it. Which was of no surprise. They were saying that, oh my God, they removed the video package of MJF and Wardlow. They didn't, but there was all kinds of different rumors that were playing out, and they started the show with it, with molten heat, and boy did they play into it, because they had a squash. Now, what typically happens, and I'll throw this to Neil. Neil, if you're a guy who's complaining about your contract, you're wanting to go elsewhere, what does a promotion typically do back in the day with you?
You walk through the curtain after your show if you're on a Vince McMahon show, because he always wants to make sure the match happens, whatever he advertises. And as soon as you walk that curtain, he goes, Ultimate Warrior, you're fired.
You're fired. But what do they do with you on screen? Are you victorious over Wardlow?
Buried. You're getting
buried
hard. And here I really, man, I don't know if it is. I mean, he did miss a fanfare or fan fest on that Saturday, and that's good money. I know how much money those guys make from something like that. I mean, you're talking like an easy 20 to 40 grand easily for one of those shows that they do. And so, man, I don't know what's going on with him backstage, because by any means, I don't work backstage, but
no, me neither.
I hope they figure it out, because one, I don't want MJF to go to WWE, because
not at this point.
He will get lost in the shuffle. He will get lost in the shuffle, and they will play him down like they do anybody that they get from anywhere. And that's not a homebred NXT whatever call up, which they bury them too. I don't know why they make that such a big point about stuff. But MJF versus CM Punk for the title in like a month or two. That's what I want. I want that program, because they did that dog collar match, which me being a huge Roddy Piper fan, I love the dog collar match.
Yeah, that was great.
And that was just probably, I would put it toe to toe with the Greg Valentine Roddy Piper match. So,
well, MJF is really playing into the Roddy Piper thing. I mean, he's even doing if you watched Roddy Piper early 80s, especially during WrestleMania era, he comes up, he goes down to one knee, he throws up, I love you symbol and all that stuff. He's mocking Jimmy Snuka. He's playing hard into the Roddy Piper angle here right now, and it's working on all angles. And I think they needed to propel Wardlow. And a lot of companies, they always do this 50-50 push. You know what I mean? One guy wins one week, the other guy wins the next week. It's good if you're trying to build somebody, let them win. For Christ's sakes, let them win. Let them have a reason why they're being pushed, and this worked.
Let me jump in here, because I 100% agree with the Wardlow thing. We're going to talk about it in a minute for what it was. But I want to address the MJF not doing the fan fest thing. Chris, I want you to think about this, because I don't have a name ready, and Pat Mullen's not here to give me a list of names. But I'm going to start to say it, and you'll be like, I know what you're talking about. There are wrestlers who will absolutely do weirdo, unprofessional stuff, but they're doing it on purpose. And they're doing it on purpose to create the illusion of reality. They're doing it on purpose to create the illusion of reality, so that you, the fan, will think, oh my God, is Bret Hart leaving the WWE? Is he jumping to WCW in 1996? Holy cow. Things like that. So they will. So it's Neil made a point of, why would you not show up to a fan fest? There's money to be had there, because that sounds like you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. But what if you can create even more heat? What if it's like a Brian Pillman situation, where you can create more heat and more controversy and up your value by doing stuff like that comes across as real, that there's no rational explanation for, but you are thinking in 4 dimensions on a chessboard. You know, you're 3 and 4 steps ahead of everybody else. And so there's a part of me, you know, I was listening back to one of my old TikToks, and Robert Winfrey goes, I still think that Will Smith slapping Chris Rock was a work. There's a part of me, I don't like to be that guy. I don't like to be everything's a work. The Montreal Screwjob was a work. The moon landing's a work. JFK, it's a work. You know, this life, it's a work. We're all in the Matrix. I don't like to be that guy, but this feels strongly like MJF, student of wrestling history, looked around and goes, Brian Pillman. And that's why he didn't show up to the Fan Fest. Because when I read Beckett Meltzer's report, that like he showed up in the ta-da nick of time and was ushered right to the ring, and then as soon as it was over, right back again. And you look at that match, we'll talk about it now. Once you respond to what I'm saying, we can get right into the match. But if you look at that match, he did everything right. He took he pulled down his pants and let Wardlow have his way with him, and just was like, 10. 10.
Oh, dude, when it got past 4, I was chanting. I was trying to get the whole movie theater I was at. I was like, 10! Make it 10! I want 10 of them! And he went the whole 10, and I was like, yeah! I felt like I accomplished something at a movie theater. He
got up. This was not Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, WrestleMania 14. He got up for everything Wardlow was going to do. And he was like, you want to do this? Right, I'm going to be there for you. You want to do that? I'm going to be there for you. He looked dead by the end of it. Like, you really did believe that Wardlow, almost to the point that, like, Wardlow stopped taking it seriously. He was just like, I'm just going to throw him around. Who cares? It's like, I'm having fun here. Like, for the first time in, like, 5 years being in AEW, Wardlow had a nice night. It was kind of fun to see him. So I'm going to let you jump in now. But that's my thought on this, is that MJF knew exactly what he was doing, and it was purposeful.
It was purposeful. And you know what? The fact that they actually push somebody correctly, for once, you're trying to build somebody. Ultimate Warrior. Remember when they built the Ultimate Warrior? Honky Tonk Man's in the middle of SummerSlam 88. You know what I mean? He's calling everybody out in that dressing room. Of course, the music hits, and all of a sudden the Warrior comes down, crushes his ass. Instant star, megastar. Same deal here, and it was perfect. I literally don't have anything to say, Neil. Hit it, man.
The thing that really I think sells the point that it might be a work is the after the show press conference with Tony Khan.
The scrum.
Yeah, he sat down and a reporter right away is like, well, I'm just going to ask the question we all want to know. What's going on with MJF? He goes, I will comment on anything else but MJF. I have plenty of stuff I will comment on about this pay-per-view, but I will not comment on, there's no comment on MJF at this time. And I'm just like, oh, he knew exactly what he was going to say before he even went out there about that. And he was very calm and cool about it. It wasn't like,
it
fuck
was
that guy. You know,
it was
like,
a little, it was a little hostage letter. You know, it was a little, there's a guy just slightly off camera with a machete and a machine gun. Like, and we have no idea what's happening with MJF. So, all right. So real quick, Wardlow beat the living hell out of MJF. A total squash at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Look, the art of the squash. Yeah. Neil, it is something that it's not easily done. Seems easy because like squashes are just what they are. It's just you doing a whole bunch of moves to a guy. Squashes done wrong look like crap. Squashes done right are perfect. And I'll tell you, other than Wardlow looked a little too happy at times, looked a little too goofy, and I'm going to allow it. Judge Radulich will allow goofy Wardlow because Wardlow has spent the better part of his AEW career looking like stern big guy. It kind of reminded me of Vince McMahon telling Chris Benoit to smile, because sometimes a smile is all the personality you need. And for the first time, Wardlow looked like a human being, not just, big goon. So everything about this match is a 10 for me. Your thoughts, Neil?
Definitely. I the only time like the whole match, I think there's one power bomb where I was like, "Ooh, I don't think he did that quite right." I think someone got a little too overzealous there. But besides that, yeah, it was complete squash. The people. I mean, I was in a movie theater that was pretty much sold out watching this at an AMC theater. And like literally we were all for it. There was not anybody in there that was upset. And I do have to make one comment though. How is MJF a really rich guy but always wears the same scarf for the last 2 years? Shouldn't he have like new scarves? Like shouldn't he be buying new things?
It's his signature. It's the Doctor Who.
I know. I get the Doctor.
Sometimes we have to hold on to our treasured belongings. It's not always about replacing it with something new. Blink, blink, blink.
But
no kayfabe there, everybody.
Yeah, by any means, this match did exactly what it needed to do. Warlord needs to be pushed to the moon because the problem with AEW is they don't know how to handle big guys.
Right.
Like, there's not really a lot of big guys.
They treat big guys like they treat everybody, like they're Rey Mysterio Jr. And it's like, no, not everybody needs to be doing flippy doos. Chris Bailey, give me 50 words or less on MJF Wardlow, and then we gotta send Hook.
Yeah. Oh boy. Really strong, man. Really strong. You're trying to push a brand new star in Wardlow. Mission accomplished, and the MJF mystery continues. So all the way around to win.
So, before we went to a burlesque show last weekend, the friend whose birthday we were celebrating sends us a text message, and she was like, and I can't remember what the original message was supposed to be, but she was like something Hook. And so in my brain, my adult ADHD crazy manic brain, I was like, send Hook. At which point I sent her about 100 million pictures of Hook, and she was like, I don't understand what's happening here, including like the T-shirt that says send Hook, everything. I sent her all the Hook.
You didn't send her the Robin Williams movie?
No. And that'll teach her to misspell shit in front of me.
Quick intro right here. Winter is coming. I went down to Garland, Texas for that. And Hook was just starting. And I was trying to get the Hook chant started from the Hook movie. Hook,
nice.
Hook, there's the Hook. Nobody. Anybody got it. I felt
look, you 90-year-old man. You can't relate to the children that way. They don't know the movie. So real quick. So I send her all of these pictures of Hook, and she's like, I don't understand who this naked man you're sending me is. Who is this child? And I'm like, he's a professional wrestler. It's Taz's son. And then I sent her a picture of Taz. And she, baby wrestler? That into Danhausen and Hook versus Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. Real quick, one of my, Pat Mullen, Pat Mullen, Chris. Pat Mullen says, why can't we get another Hoss to pair up with Tony Nese so that we have Power and Glory 2022. And I think Pat Mullen's onto something.
Ooh, boy. That would be excellent, actually.
I think we should get Paro. Good old Paro from GCW and the independent scene. Paro. I've told you about Paro. Let's get Paro and Tony Nese together. Huh?
Man.
You don't know Paro?
I don't know Paro.
Oh, my God.
Send him a picture. Yeah. I know Pyro. Yeah, I actually saw him at the WrestleMania week.
How great is Pyro?
Yeah, right. He's really good. 100 give you about that. WrestleMania week, I went to a total of 16 wrestling shows, a total of 68 plus hours of wrestling. So therefore, I saw all the wrestling that week. Like every kind of wrestling, from hardcore to the big gay brunch to.
Yep, there he is. Big meaty man slapping meat. Big
man. Big.
Oh wow, dude, he does. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's get him hooked up with Tony Nese. Look at that. Look at it. Look at him in all his glory. That's right. Good old Paro.
He has some dirt on his chest.
A little bit.
But
all right. So what do you think, Chris? What did you think of Tony Nese and Mark Sterling versus Danhausen and little baby man Hook?
Oh man, this is exactly what the crowd wanted. You know what I mean? They're into the Hookhausen gimmick. You had two purposeful workers in there who could bump to the stupidity and actually sell Hook's offense. I mean, Hook is. Hook can really move, man. He's got something in there, and once he gets a little bit of WWE size, he will be an absolute star. Well, he is a star here in this promotion, but my fear with Hook is that I think it was smart to team him up with Danhausen, because I think that the singles gimmick of everybody being afraid of the whole send Hook thing has a limited shelf life. So you got to do something else. You got to have that backup plan. Yeah. But I think we do have a star here, and I think you got something that the younger audience, who we claim doesn't exist, can actually cling to. So, he's the gamer. He's the guy next door who kicks a bit of ass. And, the thing is, when it comes to the fan base, they want to see themselves or a part of themselves or something about themselves inside that ring. And I think Hook has that.
That's
I think it was
absolutely
a great
100% brilliant point, Chris. I think the audience sees themselves in Hook, and Hook is a reflection of the audience that's going to be with them for a while. Not old fuckers like us. I mean, like the 20-year-olds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think it's just that. He also looks like a character from Dragon Ball Z. Let's just be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Like he relates to a modern demographic that you want.
Well, it's funny you say that, Neil, because my kids are big anime fans, and they like the Dragon Ball Z. And like my son, who's not like a and in the arena, but he saw Hook for the first time, saw that hair, and was like, "I'm in." That was it. That's all it took, because he looked like a Dragon Ball Z character. It was something he could relate to, because it's not the wrestling that keeps him; it's the character.
Yeah. And me, like, I like Danhausen really. Like, I wish they would show more of his in-ring talent. Maybe he's still, coming back from that leg injury where he's got a metal rod in his leg. But his in-ring ability is actually really good, because I used to watch a lot of his stuff before he put on the makeup, or not the makeup, the not the little red that he puts underneath, before the tattooed face. Anyway, I wish they would show more of his ability, but this was exactly what it needed to be. Mark Sterling running around like basically reminded me kind of like Jimmy Hart back in the day when Jimmy Hart would be in a match, where he's just like, I can't believe I'm beat, or Bobby Heenan, as the Weasel or whatever. So I think it was great. I like the Hook thing, to be honest. I've seen Hook twice now live, and every time the crowd is just hyped for him every time. So
it's my birthday tomorrow, and if anyone wants to send me a birthday present, I will gladly take a 2XL Send Hook t-shirt. So check out my OnlyFans. All right, now moving on to match number 3. The Hardys versus the Young Bucks. The Hardys beat the Young Bucks in just about 20 minutes. I have to say, this was one of my favorite matches of the night, and Chris, I have been historically hard on Young Buck matches. Their one with FTR was a big letdown. They've had some other ones where I was like, these are too long. It's the same. My God, their ladder match with fucking Penta and the other fella that's in Death Triangle, like they would just go on forever. They would kick out of everything. I was getting to a point where I really hated the Young Bucks, and not for the reasons you're supposed to. I was hating them because their matches were just all the same, but it was the same overbearing nonsense.
Yes.
And as of late, because the Young Bucks are doing less of that and more of we're just douchebags, and everything we're doing is douchebaggery, and we don't have to rely on all the the Jim Cornette hating flippity doo stuff. We're just going to rely on douchebaggeriness, and there is where I have fallen back in love with the Young Bucks. I adored this match. The Hardy Boys are going to be dead within 10 years. Jeff probably
one of them
Matt.
anyway. Yep.
Yeah, Jeff before Matt, but I don't think either one of them is making it to 60. They were there for the Young Bucks, but they looked rough, and to the point where it's like, they would do the ladder matches in the WWE, then you wouldn't see the Hardys for a while because they were in traction. Yeah. Like they did not have the roughest night at the office with the Young Bucks, but it seemed like even that was too much for him.
I'm going to have to disagree a little bit on that one. But
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff's boot broke at the beginning of the match. And because of that, he couldn't get footing on that top rope the entire match perfectly.
I wasn't focusing just on that, but go ahead, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah. But they were still, like, you could see that Matt was making up, Matt Hardy, I should say. Hardy was MH was making up for Jeff not being able to do certain spots. You could see that. Matt Hardy was jumping in there in spots where you can see they were calling it on the fly, which that was awesome. That's when you got a 30-year-old veteran in there, You
don't think they're down a step? You don't think they were kind of gassing and huffing to try to keep up with the Young Bucks?
I think
we're not going full tilt, by the way.
Yeah, I think Jeff and should not have done a match 2 weeks ago versus Darby Allin where they go into chairs and tables and then go do a pay-per-view match. I think they're going hard because I'm guessing maybe Jeff has a 1-year contract, and they're trying to do as much as they can.
Trying to kill the guy in 1 year.
Yeah. Or Jeff's probably trying to kill himself. I mean, let's just be honest. It's not like Jeff doesn't like to self-mutilate himself. Now, it's just the truth. I think the Young Bucks literally carried most of this match just because I think either Jeff was injured, that boot thing messed him up, or maybe Matt's just gassed because Matt's not got the best cardio in the world. So, I mean, that was what I was seeing, and I wanted more from this match just because, it's Jeff Hardy it's the Hardys versus Young Bucks.
I'll tell you, Chris, and you and I have talked about this a bunch. Young Bucks get their shit in early, not just in the match, but the match itself. They're usually second or first on. So you're not utterly exhausted 8 hours later when the pay-per-view finally ends. And I think that might also be artificially, now that I think about it, artificially inflating my view of this match. It was early enough on in the night that I was like, this is great. So that by the time you got to some of the other matches, which I did not care for as much, that might have just been because of its placement on the card and not necessarily because of the quality of the match. What do you think?
Do you guys remember Mick Foley falling off the top of the cage?
Yes.
Which time?
He means hell in the cell. Come on.
Hell in the cell. He falls off the cage. Everybody loves him. You know what I mean?
King of the Ring 98, yeah.
He sets himself up for a career where every single time he is in a awkward position on top of a cage that everybody expects him to come off of that cage. This is the life that Jeff Hardy is living right now. The Young Bucks fought a different style match because they came into a dream match of mine.
This is me being the Young Bucks. I'm Young Bucking it.
That I wanted to see. It's literally the Hardys of 1997 taking on their exact clones in 2022.
Generation
Me. And they couldn't go. It was a pale shadow of themselves of what we got here with the Hardys. It was a real shame, but I still enjoyed the match. It took the Young Bucks out of their comfort zone because they're so used to these fast-paced car crashes with the Lucha Brothers and FTR and people who know their stuff. So we got a different match, and I really, really like that about this.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, when guys miss moves and can't do moves, it almost brings an element of realism to the match, and it felt a little bit more authentic. I think you had the Hardys who were clearly struggling in parts, especially Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy watches his brother kill himself, and he's in the ring doing this.
delete.
He's been doing it for years. He's been living. He's been doing that for years and watching Jeff kill himself. But poor Jeff is to the point where he is a bag of stitches and bolts right now. He's trying to hold it together.
He's a bag of tiny pieces of chalk.
He is, and his boot is falling off. The guy is, he's broken in shambles, and he's trying, man. He's trying his level best to find something to fall off. And,
you ever think like Jeff just kind of looks at Matt, is like, you and your stupid delete, and you damn, I gotta kill myself every night.
Yes, he's got Mick Foley syndrome where nobody is happy until he's dead. Nobody cares about happy Mick Foley. They all want to see him just throw that fat bum off the cage and I'm happy. That's all they want. And this is where Jeff Hardy is. Let me tell you something. When you see Mick Foley on a show, let's be honest, you want to see him like die in tacks. You do. You don't want to see happy Mick Foley with his stupid Santa Claus beard.
No one goes to a Mick Foley match for a technical masterpiece. It's always to see him dive headfirst into an ordinary drinking glass. Observe.
And I want Jeff Hardy on the rafters, the girders of the arena, to do a swanton bomb to his death. This is what I want. I'm kidding. I don't want that.
No, sure you do. Essentially, Jeff Hardy, Mick Foley, a lot of these guys are Daffy Duck in the devil costume, and they're like, yes. I know, but I can only do it once.
Listen, I think Hardy does need. I think they need to modify their style, maybe even change up the gimmick because they're literally back in their old Hot Topic gear.
Mm-hmm.
They broke it back out, and listen, they actually fit in that stuff. So God bless them. If you're their age and you can fit into your Hot Topic gear, good for you guys. Keep playing it.
You do know Matt Hardy is a seamstress, right?
Oh, so he just added
he made all their gear back in the day. All their gear.
an
was
extra
made by
few
Matt.
panels.
I have lots of bolts of fabric. All right, speaking of bolts of fabric, Jade Cargill defeated Anna Jay by pinfall in 7 minutes 25 seconds. I'll tell you what, Jade Cargill for me is a body. She's a personality. She's everything I want a women's wrestler to be. She's a dreamboat. And then the bell rings, and I'm less interested.
She is somebody who, just picture, you see Toy Story, where you have the aliens in the bin where the claws coming down. The WWE is just going to go whoop, and she's gone. Trust me, she is built for WWE.
Oh, she totally is. She's like attractive China, but on the other hand, and hopefully without the mental illness. On the other hand, she can't fucking work that well. She's getting better. No. She's better than she was like a year ago, but better than totally awful is still not good.
Yeah,
hey, listen. If you're on Dancing with the Stars and you're blessed with not a pro but a coat hanger, this is what you're going to get. Anna Jay stumbles and fumbles her way all over that ring, and poor Jade Cargill, who's got a base level understanding of professional wrestling, is going to struggle against her. Her dance partner was not up to speed
Jade
as well.
Is greener
than goose shit, baby.
But
yes,
which is amplified with your dance partner. Let's be fair.
Well, Pat Mullen, I will speak for the trees, and the tree in this case is Pat Mullen, has said that you have to put her with people like Serena Deeb. You have to put her with Thunder Roses and Britt Bakers. You have to put her with people that can work crisp and clean, but understand the psychology, because she needs all of it. She is essentially hot black woman Ultimate Warrior. She needs to be led by the nose. She needs an Arn Anderson in there to drag her around, because when you put her with Andre the Giant, or you put her in there with Hercules, no offense to Pat's possible father-in-law, it doesn't go as well. I'm drawing comparisons to the Ultimate Warrior, because the Ultimate Warrior, and we have spent hours talking about his career, Pat and I. The mistake they made with the Ultimate Warrior is they did not put him with enough guys like Arn Anderson to lead him around. They put him with guys they thought he would look good in the ring with, but those weren't people who either could work crisp or knew the psychology enough to drag him over the finish line. Like, if you look at his match with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6, it's a really great example of how people who know what they're doing can come together and produce magic. It's a great match. Yeah. If you're looking for Benoit Angle, no. But hey, snobs, sometimes that's not wrestling. Wrestling is magic. And they put magic together, and the magician in that match was Pat Patterson, and the magician's assistant was Hulk Hogan. So yeah, the Ultimate Warrior looked awesome. That's what Jade Cargill needs. Jade Cargill needs a Pat Patterson and a Hulk Hogan until she's good enough to carry the ball herself. Anna Jay is not either of those two people.
God bless her. God bless her good looks. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like
a lot of the AEW women's roster.
And this is one of those matches that you could tell they just basically added it because they wanted the TBS championship to be defended. Like this was a Rampage match. This was a Dynamite match. Sure. This was not.
And Anna Jay could take a loss, and who gives a shit?
Yeah,
yeah. Right. She's still running with the Dark Order nerds, right?
Yeah,
sort of.
Anna Jay's still part of the Dark Order.
They're sort of being phased out. But it's still there. She's still doing the class. So.
that there was a gimmick that was 2 years too long.
No, like Evil Uno has actually said that they're going to actually try to reamp and go towards the tag champions after Stu left and Anna Jay's probably out the door. Like, I mean, I would like him to come back and have the little slave guys in that he used to sit on as a throne, like he did when he first started.
You want him to have slave boys?
Yeah, I want him to have his slave boys back.
Suddenly, I'm interested in this gimmick. Evil Uno in just a group of slaves.
Yeah, that's what he used to do in Canada before they brought it down to AEW.
Just all leather pants and gimp masks. I'm in for
Dalton Radulich, we'll call you Dalton Radulich. We are not your boys. I'm just saying.
Moving on. Probably the best workers match of the night. I would say this was the most crisp, most clean, best worked match of anything on here. House of Black, featuring Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King. Oy, big meaty man slapping meat. Versus the Death Triangle of Pac, Penta, Oscuro, and Rey Fenix, which was 15 minutes and 35 seconds. Winners were the House of Black, with an assist by the lighting rig guy who was clearly in on it and was helping them out. Again, in terms of like everybody was there for everyone's move, everyone got up for each other, high pace. There were no obvious botches that I could tell. I don't necessarily care about the stuff behind the scenes going on with this match or the angle. I just was like, I watched a really well worked match, Neil. I think it was the match of the night in terms of that.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually one of the highest rated matches of the entire night, all across the board. If you look at ratings and stuff like that, still mad at Malachi Black for changing his name. I literally named my dog's name is Alistair Blackwood because I named him after him. But anyway, man, this match is great. And gosh dang it, I forgot his name for a second. Brody King. Brody King, wow. Some of the stuff he was putting out there. There's a whole set that he did there that was just
Brother Man's got ups for a guy who's about 8 feet tall and big knee.
Yeah. I was like, dude, did he just kill everybody twice? Like in a row.
He is what you hope Braun Strowman would have been. He is unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
We won't talk about Adam. But anyway,
no. We don't talk about Adam. No.
You did not go to choose your narrative.
Was choose your narrative trash?
Oh my God. Choose your narrative was like if you joined a hippie cult that was run by wrestlers. It was like
this is boring and dumb as shit. Got it. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
It was so like the only thing good about it was like you got to see wrestlers that you haven't seen in a while, like Eric Redbeard or Eric Rowan, like Scotty Too Hotty was there. Like,
I love EC3. He's so mad. Like EC3, just a spectacular looking man, just hot as shit, muscly. He was everything you'd want a wrestler to be. Garbage, trash, just not allowed to do a damn thing outside of TNA.
Kind of a douche, too. I met him,
Is he really?
I met him at WrestleCon. Yeah,
okay.
He's kind of it's all about me kind of thing.
Oh, that might have been his problem. He wasn't culty enough for the WWE.
But anyway,
yes.
Oh man, but Pac, and I mean Penta is one of my favorites. I used to love Penta even back in Lucha Underground, back when he was starting off and still being green, and his brother Ray. They just played this match like everybody just had it perfectly, and even the surprise at the end with Julia Hart doing everything. Finally, that paid off after what, like 4 months of that building up. So, like, man, I've already watched this match twice since the pay-per-view.
Go ahead, Chris. Chris Bailey,
I think they've taken a paycheck away from Bray Wyatt. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good. Keep going.
Okay. I think they've taken a paycheck away from Bray Wyatt. Anyone who's interested in him coming back and reforming any semblance of a Wyatt family or a Fiend, these guys are doing it 10 times better, man. This House of Black is incredible. It's an incredible visual. It's exciting to see in the arena. The fans are hyped for it. Buddy Murphy. Anyone who's interested in casting a He-Man in a He-Man movie, I have never seen a guy who's built like an action figure.
Why would you cast a He-Man that looks like He-Man when you can cast a He-Man that looks like Robert Pattinson? I mean, really,
oh my
it's
God.
2022.
Stop. Listen, you got a guy. They used to say there's no way you'd ever be able to bring this to screen. Look at Buddy Murphy, I should say. Holy crap, that guy is jacked to another level. I don't even understand. You got Brody King, who is throwing his body around like a luchador, and then he's just got the power of the Road Warriors. He's got the total package. You got Malachi Black, who's living his Bray Wyatt life, man, as the leader of this cult. And then they had the extra piece. Now, do you remember the Wyatt family used to tease Sister Abigail, and they never, ever pulled the trigger on that damn thing? They went ahead and did it. Now they don't have that angle anymore because the Julia Hart thing, now they've got their Sister Abigail. They've got the whole package here. It looks great. It's phenomenal. I can't stand 6-man matches. I got to be honest with you. I'm just sick and tired of them in AEW. I loved every single minute of this one, and it was because of House of Black, and everybody did their part, and just I'm gushing over this one, guys. Super, super.
All right, in the finale of the men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament final, Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe in a
hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Honestly, it's 12 minutes and 30 seconds. On my kid's life, I couldn't tell you anything about it. Neil?
Exactly.
Oh, man, it should have been 10 times better. I'm a huge fan of Samoa Joe. One, I get why they added the Bobby Fish angle or whatever, so Samoa Joe loses without being, losing clean. I don't get that. Samoa Joe will take a loss all day long. He lost to Christopher Daniels back in the day. He lost to the Amazing Red. I saw the guy lose to a guy that was like 12 pounds heavy, wet. So, I don't know why they did that. They could have just had Adam Cole beat him clean and it'd been great. But, I wanted this to be better. I wanted this to be AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. I wanted this to be Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe. I wanted more from this, and everybody in the theater that I was at was literally just saying that Adam Cole looks like a guy with a dad bod, and the whole time, and I'm just like, I don't know if Adam Cole's taking wrestling as serious as he used to. Like, I mean, maybe it's because like in WWE, if you're not good, you're fired,
right.
or and
or go to AEW with your friends and be protected for life, like a teacher with fucking. Hey, what's the thing when you're a teacher and can't get fired?
Tenure.
Like a teacher with tenure. That's wrestlers in AEW now. It's like I can fuck off and show movies. I don't have to teach multiplication. I'm Adam Cole, baby.
Well, he makes a lot of money on Twitch too, right? So,
right. But that's my criticism. I love Adam Cole. Like I was pushing for him to go main roster against Roman Reigns, and then there's these guys, this one guy from Canada and this one guy from Arizona who bitched and laughed at me about it. But Neil, it's true. It's true. Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era versus Roman Reigns and his collection of DUI cousins. Would have been great.
DUI cousins, I love that one.
It would have been the shit, but but then he goes to AEW and he kind of looks around and goes, I can do nothing for 4 years and I'll get paid just the same. So fuck it. I mean, I'm gonna hang out with my girlfriend and my friends, and I'm gonna get paid, and I'll be on TV, and I'll wrestle some matches, and who gives a shit? And that's Adam Cole now.
I just don't feel like that. I don't feel like that fire in his stomach is there anymore. I really don't.
But that's not just us three cynical bastards. That's everybody I talk to. Like different groups of people with different likes and dislikes have all said the same thing about Cole. He looks like he's given up. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. Samoa Joe's an interesting case study here too. Let's not forget about Project Samoa Joe. If you've watched Dynamite, you know that John Morrison is now in AEW.
Oh, is he?
And he showed up as Johnny Elite.
No, Johnny Elite in AEW.
Right.
You guys need to keep that all straight. All right. So when he was Johnny Nitro, he was originally, then it was Johnny Impact, then it was Johnny. You gotta keep it Johnny Mundo, Johnny.
That's right. So he shows up on Dynamite, and guess who he's paired with? Samoa Joe, who ain't impressed. Let me tell you something. And he doesn't sell for him. He doesn't bounce for him.
Sorry.
I think you muted him. You muted him.
It automatically mutes. Unmute. Why is nothing working?
Unmute the guy. What did he do to you? Chris was making a good point. Oh, you almost had it.
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Chris. There you go.
Boy, oh boy, you talk about killing a point here. Anyway, Samoa Joe was having none of it and just squashed him, and I mean sent a message to him with that muscle buster. Was like, dude, like, don't patronize me. It's like Johnny Elite was falling all over the place. Same situation here. Samoa Joe was nonplussed to be in the ring here with sloppy Adam Cole, and he gave him exactly what Cole was giving him. This wasn't good at all. It was just two guys who couldn't be bothered, and that's exactly my opinion of the match. I couldn't be bothered either.
I want to take this moment to talk about this 12-hour pay-per-view that went on. And I don't want to talk about that specifically because Chris and I, as many times as we've reviewed AEW events, have always complained about the length of these things. WWE too. 3 hours is the magic number. At 3, be done. 3 plus. Yep. I mean, if you want to do a 4th hour like pre-show to kind of on YouTube to build up pay-per-view buys, that's fine. But your actual main card needs to be 3 hours, and we're out of this. These 4 and 5 hour plus shows, it's too much. And here's the thing: there's no reason Adam Cole Samoa Joe couldn't have been on Dynamite. Make that your main event. This didn't need to be on pay-per-view. And I think there's like total 13 matches. It's too much. And unless you're WrestleMania 1 and you're doing 2 and 3 minute matches, there's no reason to do 13 when your matches are 10 to 20 minutes long at a clip every single time. It's ridiculous. This and then the next match we're going to talk about both needed to be on Dynamite.
I think there's 3 matches altogether, even though if it was good or bad, either way. I think this, the women's Owen Hart Foundation, and Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby Allin that was actually thrown in there. Great. Yeah. I know who they are. I know all their names, but man, that could have all been another Dynamites and stuff like that. I know he's trying to do as much as possible because he's a wrestling fan too, as well as being a wrestling promoter. But man, Tony, back off, bro.
You don't need to put the entire roster on every show. Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss don't need to be on every single pay-per-view. They just don't. Like, the pay-per-view, if you remember back, us old fuckers remember back in the day, you got the best of the best on the pay-per-view. You got 6 or 7 solid, good, long matches, and we were done. Right, and we were done. And everybody else sits home. Now it's like a participation, it's like, kids soccer. Not everybody on the goddamn roster has to be on the damn show. Not all your stars have to be on the show. Hey, maybe save Adam Cole for something else, not put him out there every single night to the point where he clearly isn't taking care of himself anymore because he doesn't care. Right.
But it's also okay to go 3 minutes. It's okay to be Junkyard Dog against Harley Race at WrestleMania 3. It's okay to just be that.
Yep. Yeah, not everything needs to be a 20-minute spectacular.
Yeah, it just I feel like that it's just being shoved too much on there. I mean, there's back in the 90s, there's pay-per-views that Stone Cold Steve Austin at the height of the Austin 316 wasn't on pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you can spread these out, and I mean, I know they only got 4 or 5 pay-per-views a year, but like you could still just put them on Dynamite, put them on the shows that people want to go see them on. I mean, people are going to watch it. They want to watch it.
And to really reinforce this point, Britt Baker took on Ruby Soho in the women's Owen Hart finale. Second verse, same as the first. This should have been on. It was a well-wrestled match. Britt Baker can work. Ruby Soho can work. Not pay-per-view quality, not pay-per-view caliber. Didn't need to be there. Can we just move on? Do we need to dissect this front any further?
Oh, cool bands at the beginning. Rancid did the Ruby Soho. That's it.
Yeah, when that's the most exciting part of that match is Rancid. 900-year-old Rancid came out to play Ruby Soho. Oh boy.
And Ruby Soho was caught in the WWE push where, hey, let's bring her in, let's praise her up and never give her a win.
Yep.
Yes. It's
I don't know
just
the point.
like I seriously think that the wrestling world just has something against Hoosiers. I think that's just the way it is. Like literally, the lady grew up 18 miles away from my house and like literally never gets to win ever in anything ever. And I'm just like, just one time can I see a title on that lady or winning or anything, but whatever.
Speaking of matches that should have been cut from this pay-per-view, American Top Team of Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and can't win in a real fight, so she went to fake fighting, Paige Vanzant. But she's hot, so she gets away with it. I'm not bitter about that or anything.
She's no Ronda Rousey. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Dude, Paige Vanzant is a cutie patootie. She's a hottie toddy. She has got a smoking body. She's just all personality. She can't fight worth a shit, dude. I have seen Paige Van. If Paige Vanzant looked like me, she would not have gotten in the UFC. Okay, that's the facts. You look at some of the best UFC women's fighters; they're not all attractive. Some of them are, but some of these women, like Joanna Jędrzejczyk, She's awesome. She's just the best fighter, one of the best fighters they've got. Not particularly attractive. Some people find her. Not I. Some of these other women, like I said, they get by because they got skills, and they should have all the praise and all the glory for the skills that they have. Paige Vanzant got to the UFC because she's fucking smoking hot. She can't fight for shit. And it annoys the living piss out of me now that she fucking fails out of the UFC. She fails out of bare knuckle. And so she shows up here and, oh, look, I'm in a marquee match because I'm Paige Vanzant. Oh, to be a hot woman and have people throw opportunities at your feet.
Yeah.
Says the mad bearded guy.
Ty Conte definitely carried her that whole time. Like, she was doing judo flips and stuff to try to make her look kind of good.
Speaking of hot women who can wrestle, Ty Conte.
Yeah. You could tell that she was carrying it the whole time.
And annoyed to be doing so, by the way.
Yeah. The only thing I want out of this whole mix or whatever is I want Ethan Page to be pushed somewhere. I like Ethan Page. The guy is, if you ever meet him, he is like literally like the sparkle in the eye. Like you're just too beautiful to be a man in this world. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, he's like an uber geek. Like, I geeked out with him over like X-Men 92 for like 30 minutes once. And
he's also the one guy who can say he defeated his video game self on a pay-per-view.
Yes, when he beat Karate Man.
That's not something to be proud of.
That's very something to be proud of.
I disagree. But I like Sammy Guevara. He's gonna kill himself one of these days. And speaking of Jeff Hardy, he's gonna kill himself one of these days in these matches, diving headfirst off ladders and shit. But for right now, he seems to be doing well, and he's got. I mean, like, really, don't we all want to be Sammy Guevara right now? Hot, young, your girlfriend is Ty Conti. The world is your oyster. If you don't want to be Sammy Guevara, you're not a man. That's my opinion. He's doing awesome. I just wish this match wasn't on pay-per-view because it was a goddamn waste of time. And have I mentioned how much I hate Paige VanZant? Go ahead, Chris.
No.
Let's talk. Let's do a 30-minute discourse on Frankie Kazarian. No, I'm kidding.
I was just like, I'm gonna go get a sandwich.
I don't want to talk about this at all. What I'll say is that the heat behind Sammy Guevara and Ty Conte is the purpose of this match to get this out here. And I don't know why you have heels mixing with heels. I guess you're trying to turn top team face, maybe? I don't know where we're going.
Dude, Dan Lambert's the most natural heel in the fucking company. Why?
I know, but why are you pairing them with another two molten hot heels? Mm-hmm. You know, it just makes sense. Anyway, the match was fine. Paige VanZant can't wrestle for shit. Ty Conte made her look like she was ridiculous, and Ethan Page and Sammy really saved this thing. And Frankie Kazarian was there, everybody. Woohoo! Frankie Kazarian. I'm Frankie Kazarian. Nobody gives a fuck.
Frankie Kazarian showed up.
I don't understand. Who cares?
Was he in the match?
Yes.
He's listed as such. I don't remember him.
I was drinking a lot of rum that night.
All right.
Anyway.
So, do you want to say anything else about this ridiculous match, or can we move on, Neil?
Oh, let's move.
Kyle O'Reilly, in a match that should have been cut from this pay-per-view, defeated Darby Allin. What the fuck happened to Darby Allin? Like, Darby Allin did Danhausen walk in and they were like, fuck Darby Allin. We don't need him anymore.
Hey, do you remember when the snow used to fall and Sting used to come to the ring with me and we had this big push and I rode my skateboard and I had these big vignettes and now I don't have any of that and I'm wrestling shitty Kyle O'Reilly on a pay-per-view match that nobody gave a shit for.
Oh my God! This is where the whole pay-per-view dies for me. Like,
me too.
Yeah, this back half is like, ugh. Go ahead, Neil.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna 100 tell you the truth. I went outside and smoked a cigarette.
Yeah,
good choice. Good choice.
I took a good 10-minute walk outside for a minute out of the movie theater. Came back, was refreshed for the next match.
Right.
When Kyle O'Reilly was doing the MMA hipster metalhead douchebag thing in NXT, I was like, I'm gonna allow it on probation. I'm gonna Judge Radulich gave Kyle O'Reilly hipster douchebag metalhead MMA guy probation for that gimmick. I'm like, let's see how, because I can be, I don't know if you know this about me, Neil, but I can be a little judgmental.
Really?
No, I know. I don't come across that way. I very
true.
accepting.
I don't see it.
No,
I
thank
swear
you,
we did a
Love you.
2-hour episode, just me and you, about 18 and 19 of wrestling. I think I heard
had
plenty
some
of that during the
But
whole invasion talk. Yeah.
I am fair and impartial. Anyway, like Bill O'Reilly. So what I'm saying is that I tend, like sometimes I look at like Kyle O'Reilly and I see him in the hat and the denim outfit and everything, and I'm just like, no, guilty, off television. And I'm like, no, let's give it a chance. Give it a chance. I did. He ended up in AEW. That's what happens when I give people a chance. Should have just thrown him in prison. So I like Kyle O'Reilly is the point that I'm trying to get to. Kyle O'Reilly is one of these guys where he's Arn Anderson. He's always going to be a solid mid-card, upper mid-card guy. He's always going to be there to back up the Ric Flairs and Adam Coles of the world. Putting him in this like marquee position though, against a guy that they were pushing to the moon a month ago, was a giant waste of time. Is
this a marquee position?
It's high up on the. It's if you're on pay-per-view. I mean, unless we're going to now have a discussion of
this
because your pay-per-view doesn't mean it's the marquee.
This is the fourth match before it's the fourth to last, so that's not a good position.
I understand it's in the million.
Jericho would have Brock Lesnar would have walked out on the show. Jericho would have been pissed.
I understand in the middle of 400 matches, it doesn't mean anything. But but being on pay-per-view used to mean something. I guess it doesn't anymore.
I think this was the piss break segment.
Yeah, exactly. Go smoke a cigarette.
Dude, what do you have, diabetes? How often do you have to piss? We just had a piss break segment with Paige Vanzant.
Jesus, by the time we got here, we're 9 hours in, Mark.
Yeah. I remember
babies have been born. Russia's now our friend. Everything has happened.
Sitting next to me was like, it's 11 o'clock, and don't we have like 4 more matches?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, praise be to Melissa Radulich. Praise her. All men of this world with Snapchat. Because she had the funniest comment of the night when it was after Anarchy in the arena, and she was like, "That's great. Can we go to bed now?" And I'm like, "There's still 2 matches left," and she just goes, "Fuck." Like you can see the words appear out of thin air and go across the room. She was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's still 2 more matches left." I'm like, "Yeah, we still have." So it's like, "What are they?" I'm like, CM Punk versus Hangman Adam Page. She was like, "Fuck." Because she knew we weren't getting to bed anytime soon.
By the time we got to the second to last match in this pay-per-view, literally the concession stands were closed. Like, everybody was gone in the movie theater except for the people inside the AEW movie theater watching.
They were like sending grips and best boys out in the stands. Fill up seats, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you had that one disgruntled popcorn employee who's spitting on food. Who's waiting there for this?
He's like, "Fuck all y'all.
I gotta close this place down. These idiot wrestling fans are wasting my time."
No, they didn't. The people at the theater didn't even know how long this was going to go, and they were just to the point where they're like, "Are you serious?" And we're like, "Yeah, guys,
we will give you tickets to free movies if you just fuck off." So speaking of fuck off, Thunder Rosa took on Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb, quite frankly, the best technical worker among the women in modern wrestling. Thunder Rosa, she's not bad in her own right. Yeah. Something here, it wasn't technically bad, but it didn't hit that level of smooth either. It was just kind of clunky, but not incompetent.
No, it really built itself around like counters and like elaborate submission holds and stuff, which I like it. I like that mat wrestling. So I was kind of a fan of this. And again, I did just have a 10-minute break. So I came back in. I was fresh. I wanted to see this. Thunder Rosa and Deebs are both just 2 of my favorite women wrestlers right now. And was it an A+ match? No, but it was better than what I saw earlier
for the last 3 hours.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: Thunder Rosa, when she works with like a traditional wrestling worker, like a Britt Baker, I think she does really well. I think Thunder Rosa works best with another traditional worker. I don't think she works well with shooters. And that's where the problem was, I think, in this. If I really analyze it, Serena Deeb works a shoot style, and it's great. And Serena Deeb is awesome, and put all the belts on her. But I don't think
shave her head.
And shave her head, yeah. But I don't think Thunder Rosa knows quite what to do with that kind of style, Chris.
Okay, placement is the problem here. The Britt Baker match, that particular match should have been where this one is right now. This match, you don't put it after a Kyle O'Reilly, Darby Allin sleeper where the crowd is completely dead. Just think about that. You're the booker, and you're going, okay, we're going to shit the bed on this match with Kyle O'Reilly. We're going to bore the fans to tears. What's going to wake them up? I know, 2 hot wrestlers doing submission holds.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No, this is not the answer. This is where you put Britt Baker. This is where you put Rancid, open him up. This is where you get the crowd back into it singing Ruby Soho.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we got this, and I think the placement hurt the match. Like you guys said, there's nothing wrong with this match. Nuts and bolts, pretty sound. It was just okay, and I think placement killed it. That's all.
All right. In the match that killed my son and made him leave the room, I brought him out to watch this match because we enjoy a good chair shot to the head. We like our death matches, my son and I. This is bonding, sir. I see your judgmental eyes, Neil. This is father and son bonding time to watch grown men impale themselves on barbed wire. This is nice. This is how you parent. Hashtag parenting. So I called my son out, the fruit of my loins, the joy of my life, the apple of my eye, and said, come watch these wrestlers mutilate themselves. It'll be fun for the whole family. And so he snuggled up between his mother and I, and we watched, and like 5 minutes into it, he was like, fuck this shit, flipped the table over, and walked out of the room. He may not have said, fuck this shit, he's 8. But in my mind, that's what I heard. And my son Jonas did not enjoy the Jericho Appreciation Society. I have no idea who any of these people are, by the way. So I know Chris Jericho and I know Jake Hager. Daniel Garcia, Angelo Parker, and Matt Menard might as well have been clones. I have no idea who these people are. And then there's the Blackpool Combat Club of Bryan Danielson, John Moxley, Eddie Kingston, Santana and Ortiz. Them I know. So this was a little over 20 minutes. Everyone likes to make fun of Kevin Dunn in his direction style as far as not being able to keep on a shot. As somebody who, and Neil, I think you can appreciate this because you also do a film podcast, leaving the fucking camera still is a thing. It's a thing that happens. It's what makes movies good. Doing Batman v Superman-esque supercuts where nothing is in focus and everything is all over the place and the audience can't settle on anything isn't good storytelling. I've watched football fuckery in the past. Those were fine. They would actually stay with a pair of wrestlers for more than 2 seconds. This one, I don't know what meth head junkie was in the truck at AEW, but couldn't focus on a single shot. This was ridiculous. I couldn't follow a thing in this match. When you lose the 8-year-old, when the 8-year-old can't follow the action because it's too all over the place and there's too many cuts, you done fucked up. Everyone go backstage, kill the witch again, start over. It's a reference to my junior high Wizard of Oz play. Neil, what the hell, man?
Man, I don't know what you watched. Because like,
all right, good night. Hang on, good night, everybody. Wait a second now.
Because literally across the board, this every single place I'm looking right now has either an A+, an A, or an A-.
Oh, these are the people that think Spider-Man should have gotten a fucking Oscar nomination. Blow me. This sucked.
After a 4-month buildup of these two factions,
okay.
A 4-month buildup
of
wrestlers you just don't know because you didn't watch for 4 months.
I have shit to do. I got shit to do,
man. We all saw it. We saw Jericho.
I'm sorry I go out with people and don't sit home watching nameless, faceless, boring wrestlers blow Jericho on a weekly basis.
Dude, I've been to more concerts in the last week than you have in 3 months. Anyway,
all right,
and I still watch all the wrestling and all the movies. Just sleep less. Who needs sleep more than 4 hours? Anyway.
All right, you got me. I sip on my own petard.
All right. But anyway, so I was like a really big fan of it. Yeah, the shaky camera at the beginning was kind of, but they wanted to do that because if Jericho wanted to make it look like they were kind of going a little crazy, because they wanted that music playing for a little while, and he wanted to be the guy that's like, I hate rock and roll so much, I need to destroy the soundboard, like, and they did that spot. I thought it wasn't the worst shaky camera event by any means. I mean, Al Snow versus Steve Blackman in the freaking river where he throws him in it. Anyway, that was
good times.
Or was that Hardcore Holly? I can't remember. Anyway, but I thought this was really good, and I think everybody had some really good spots in this. I think it made Jericho. The Jericho Appreciation Society actually more over, because what you're trying to do in that Appreciation Society is try to build these others superstars that, that's the whole reason he left Inner Circle, because originally it was going to be Inner Circle 2.0, and he's like, no, let's start something brand new. I bring in Jake again because, he's just around here
what
all
else
the time
is Jake
anyway.
Hager going to do?
Yeah. And he goes, but I can build some new stars here. And they did. And to be honest, even losing Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz, Brandon Danielson, and John Moxley still had, I mean, either way, you can't be upset with any of these wrestlers at the end of this match. I mean, it was, I liked it. I was
in defense of the match, when they actually slowed the camera down, and I don't know if they just like released ether into the truck, or gave him some vodka to calm the fuck down, whatever, or just pushed them out of the truck entirely and had an adult run the thing. When they could finally focus on a shot and let some action happen, I actually liked the finish of this match. I thought the finish was great, and there was there was obviously some cool action when you could focus on it, but it was just so frenetic in the beginning. Like I said, the 8-year-old couldn't keep his attention on it, and I couldn't focus on it either. So that's two different perspectives from like varying age groups.
But so you're saying the cameras were all messed up, like it was Anarchy in an arena?
Chris Bailey, what did you think?
Eddie Kingston with a gas can. Eddie Kingston with a gas can. All you needed. The crowd was hot for this. Jericho had the Appreciation Society. Listen, he's trying to connect every heat-seeking button in professional wrestling. He calls them sports entertainers. He dresses them as the Backstreet Boys coming out.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston. Yeah. Eddie Kingston with the gas can. Unbelievable. I mean, when you got, I tell you one thing that I see in my mind's eye. Eddie Kingston is going to be that Mick Foley who wins that world title. He's going to have that moment, and people are going to absolutely love it because they love this guy, and he gives them something every single time, win, lose, or draw. And Eddie coming down over that ramp covered in blood with the gas can was the story of this match. I loved it.
Yep, it was good stuff. Just wish it was shot better. All right, in a match that really should have been cut, Jurassic Express versus Keith Lee and Swerve and Team Taz. This was almost 20 minutes, 17 minutes, 15 seconds. It was probably 14 minutes too long, Neil.
Yeah. Well, the reason is because the wrong people won. Jurassic Express. They tease that Chris Jericho.
Keep going. You're
okay,
good. No, you're fine.
So they tease that whole not Jericho, but they tease that whole Jungle Boy Christian thing for like the last year, where it seems like Christian's going to turn on them or something like that. They just need to go play that out. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus doesn't need to be the tag team champions. I really think Keith Lee and Swerve were the two that needed to win the titles here to push them up a little bit more. And because Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland are hot right now, they're the tag team everybody is watching. So I just think it's a bad decision to have Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus win over this. If they would have gone a different way and we give new talent, the belts, I think this would have gone over better.
By this point in the pay-per-view, I just wanted to see Adam Page and CM Punk. I could not give a shit less about this, Chris. Unmute yourself. There you go. You're muted again. You're muted.
Still muted.
You're not muted anymore.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Do you remember when Hulk Hogan lifted Randy Savage on his shoulder, and Randy Savage looked at him like, "Oh, brother, that's my Elizabeth." Remember that? Same thing. So Jurassic Express wins. Christian lifts Jungle Boy up on his shoulders in celebration. Typically what Luchasaurus does. All of a sudden, Luchasaurus looks over at him like, "Oh, brother, I don't know about this. What's going on?" I'm telling you, this is all about seed planting, and they're doing the Mega Power seed breakup right here. So this win is just another layer in the storyline. It's the moments that Chris Sheehan talks about in this thing, and the only thing that you really need to focus on is that Christian Cage is slowly threading that needle of trying to take Jungle Boy away from Luchasaurus and turn him into his own individual star. So that's coming down the road, brother. That's literally it. But I agree with everything Neil said about Swerve and Lee. They should have won this match. But you know what? When you're telling the tapestry of the story, that's all this needed to be.
All right, and finally, after 12 hours, we finally get to our main event. Hangman, Adam Page versus CM Punk. And I'll tell you, my only thought about this match, it was fine. I think the right guy won. I think it was a finely wrestled match. I think part of the air coming out of the room with this match is that it took so long to get to. So by the time you get there, I'm like, I'm just exhausted. Please end this. But I think if I go back and I just watch the match in and of itself, dude, Hangman Adam Page gets up for everybody. CM Punk is, a consummate professional, whether you love him or hate him. He gets up for everybody. They worked well together. It was a solid match. What I want to talk about is how AEW can build up to a moment. Wardlow MJF, Adam Page beating Kenny Omega. They can build up to something. It's always the day after. It's always the follow-up that becomes the problem. So, yes, we all stained our pants. We all created a mess. We all slept in a puddle the night Adam Page beat Kenny Omega. It was great. We were all waiting for it. And then the next day, everything about Adam Page's run has been kind of meh. He's had some great matches, no doubt.
Yeah.
His matches with Daniel Bryan, chef's kiss. Mwah.
The hour-long match that I was at, and we didn't even, the people in the arena were like, wait a minute, it's 32 minutes. Now it's 35. What is this going a whole hour?
Right. So Adam Page, those matches with Daniel Bryan were fantastic. He's had some fun moments. He's had some fun matches, but overall, I would tell you that his run with the title as taken as a whole has been lackluster. And here's the thing. I've said that a couple of times now about AEW, where they build to a great moment. They build to a crescendo, and their falling action usually doesn't live up to snuff. And so I'm watching CM Punk win this title, and sure, everyone's like, yay, he came back. He said a thing. He did a stuff, and now he wins a title. And now what? And since I've seen the pattern in AEW of not having good follow-up, I'm a little reticent to stay excited about a CM Punk title run. I think now it's just hold your breath and wait for him to drop it to somebody else, Neil.
No, I think this is the third summer of Punk. If you don't know, the first summer of Punk was Ring of Honor. Second summer of Punk was WWE. Now this is AEW Summer of Punk. I think the problem they're having is going to be fixed with having Punk as the champion, because Punk was really good at building stars back even in WWE, even in Ring of Honor. And I think this will give opportunity for people to actually, because he'll build a good program, because all you have to do is give him like 2 shows in between before a pay-per-view, and he can build a program with somebody. So I think that's what you get when you, get CM Punk. What Eric Bischoff said, he was like the biggest flop in AEW history, and Tony Khan laughed at the press conference after. He goes, CM Punk's made more money for this company than the entire roster. He
really went wild on that, like really over the top.
Yeah, he's basically like, F you, shut up.
He did. He actually did say that.
Yeah, I don't know. Tony Khan did a bump before he came out or whatever. But,
I hope
it was a little intense. But I think this is. I agree with you with the Kenny Omega, the Adam Page, and where they're after they win, it takes forever to find that person to go against or whatever. But I don't think they're going to have that problem with CM Punk, because I think CM Punk's creative enough that he's going to be able to lead them into better matches for the championship.
We'll see. I think the next one is what, All Out? Next pay-per-view?
Yeah.
It's September. All Out. We'll all come back together and we'll see what happens, because by All Out we'll know. Chris, your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, sure. CM Punk, I say 3 to 4 month title reign. I don't think it's going to be a long one. Like I said, I think he might get us through the summer. If he's in the middle of Dynamite celebrating and it's all about that boom comes on, the TV's coming off my wall and I'm throwing it right out the door. If they start him with a dumb feud, they really need to bring in a killer like Miro. Start with Miro out of the gate. Someone fresh, someone new, something to just
put the fucking title on Miro. What the hell, man?
Maybe that's the end game. Maybe that's something that you bring on. You know what I mean? Like maybe is Eddie Kingston the guy to finally take him out, or you know what I mean? Who knows? There's so much potential and so many matchups.
If I'm running AEW, I'll give Neil his Summer of Punk. That's fine. But then Miro murders CM Punk and eats his bones.
Why do I get the feeling it's just going to be like stupid matches against like Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole? If that's going to be the reign, I just don't want to see it. Give me some new, fresh talent.
I think that has to happen, because we still have to get through Beach Break or whatever the hell the summer one's called. Fighter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, Fight Your Mom, Fight Everybody. We have to get through all those events over the summer.
Go ahead. One thing I did want to bring up was CM Punk missing that buckshot lariat twice was outstanding, and I love it to the point where right at the end of the match, there's a video of he's sitting in the middle of the ring and he's celebrating and he's on the mic and he's thanking the fans and all that stuff, and he realizes, he said, can you please remind me never do the buckshot lariat again? And that was hilarious.
And
that was hilarious.
He even said in the news conference afterwards, he's like, I did that in practice so many times. Perfect. And then I'm on television and messed up twice. It's like, how? But what I really think they need to do is they need to bring in trios titles. A trios title. So then we can get rid of that whole Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. That's their own match somewhere else. Has nothing to do with a championship belt, with the main championship belt. So we can get those trios all into their little mix.
Call it the trios dark title, so we don't have to watch it at all.
All right. So if the ambassadors from Reddit would be silent for just a moment, congregation, please be seated. Let the pastor talk to you. Here's what needs to happen. And I've heard these visions. I've heard these ideas from God himself, who speaks to me, and I will speak to you for God. We need to just have CM Punk go through the Kyle O'Reillys and the Adam Coles all through the summer, do all of that, get your Fight for the Fallen and your Fighter Fest out of there, and then we get to All Out. And Miro is the answer, don't you understand? Miro, sent from God's hand, will then destroy CM Punk and send him into the upper stratosphere, and have Miro just run a train, a Josh Alexander-esque train through the AEW roster. And then at Revolution, the only man left, gas can in hand, battered, war-torn Eddie Kingston.
I'm telling you, the place would explode. Give Eddie Kingston not a homegrown talent, but a AEW favorite. Just that sentimental crowd favorite. The guy, the everyman that sits in those seats. I talked about representation with Hook. He is now our representation. He looks like us. He feels like us. He is us.
That's a sad state of affairs. That like our guy is Eddie Kingston. I feel bad about myself now. I'm gonna go to the gym.
But he sits there. He says exactly what's on his mind. He he does the Steve Austin. Probably better than Steve Austin ever did, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And man, the guy can go in the ring, and I think it's his time at the end of the Punk run. I think that
Miro,
to defeat Miro, he needs to beat someone strong.
A year from now,
Big Show.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Here's the pattern.
Look,
Miro, Eddie Kingston a year from now. Eddie
Yep.
Kingston versus Kenny Omega. That's
And
that's
I think
the plan.
I think you should do it impromptu though. Like, you know what I mean? Like have Eddie Kingston fill in for somebody. Have another guy advertise, and then Kingston
Sure.
is the fill-in, and then just gets a shock win
Haven't-
out
Yeah,
of
do the
nowhere. That's the way to
WWE
do it.
thing. Do
Have
the
it either
WWE
be-
thing. When you fill in with the other guy, give him the belt.
Right. I was gonna say like either do John Moxley or Daniel Bryan in that case. Like build towards Miro versus Daniel Bryan or John Moxley, and keep the Blackpool thing going, but then like put one of those guys in the all out main event. They get attacked from behind. Maybe bring back Jericho, hit him with a bat, and then it's like, well, who's gonna fight Miro? Send me somebody, and out comes Eddie Kingston. Boom! Everybody's pants are
man. Yeah, I agree. You don't lose. You don't lose with that end game.
Yeah, and I man, and Eddie Kingston's promo, I like that when he just came out and he was like, I don't want to talk. Why are we talking? I want to fight. Like, I love that. Oh,
yeah.
I'd have to agree. He does.
Eddie Kingston is your drunk uncle.
Yeah.
Good old drunk Uncle Kingston. All right, guys, this was fun. Neil, did you have a good time today? You have fun talking wrestling with your friends?
I mean, you made fun of, let's see, you made fun of Jericho, you made fun of Danhausen, you made fun of pretty much everybody I like. So screw you, but yeah, I had a great time.
Well, welcome to the show, pal. We'll bring you back. Hey, a couple of weeks. We got AEW versus New Japan, which I am I'm looking forward more to that than I was WrestleMania. This Forbidden Door show. I don't even know what's on it yet. I haven't looked. That is Sunday night, June 26th. So we'll review it on the 29th of June. So hopefully, Neil, you'll have some free time and you can come back and I can make more fun of your heroes.
No, dude, I'll rip you apart next time. I'll write down lyrics. I'll write down. I mean, I just can't believe out of all 6,000 languages on this planet, the only language you know how to do is talk shit. So like, I just don't get it.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Here we go. Bravo, my friend. Bravo.
Hey, if you got me a little more in the day when I'm, more awake.
Neil's fired up now. He's like, what?
Oh, man.
Yeah, now I got all the freaking the caffeine in me. I'm gonna have to go do some chores or something. I gotta go.
Oh my God! I think we need to give him the shirt to the Podsman. My God, I feel like that earned the Roma spot at least.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. You motherfuckers. All right. Chris Bailey. Come down off your roof, tell your wife what's going on, and then say it to the people. As soon as you're done angry dragoning yourself.
Why does he keep muting himself constantly?
Well, he was drinking there. He wasn't quite ready for all this jelly at that particular moment.
I have the COVID.
Do you really?
I do.
Damn.
I do.
My co-host.
I've been trying to cover up my cough the entire show. Sorry.
Oh, dude, the first time I did this wrestling with you was Battle of the Belts,
Mm-hmm.
and when we did Battle of the Belts, I had COVID so bad the whole time, and I was trying to hide it.
You legit have COVID, Bailey?
I'm home. I'm stuck.
When did that happen? We talk every day, and you're like this wrestling thing and that thing, and like you don't bother to tell me about that. I'm sad.
No,
now.
I got it Sunday.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
I'm doing fine, man. I just got a stupid runny nose and a shitty cough. I'm good.
All right. Cool. Do your plugs.
So, I tell you what, we just came off Superblog Team Up. We talked Image Comics. Boy, that was a lot of fun. So if you want to check out Superblog Team Up, hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Charlton_hero. Hit us up on hashtag SBTU, hashtag Superblog Team Up. We covered Image Comics. We did a great interview with Jesse Starcher for Superhero Satellite Episode 3 right here on the W2M Network with the Radulich and Broadcasting Gang. And, of course, the full interview can be found over on the Wizards Podcast Guide to Comics with Mr. Dave Olbrich talking Malibu Comics and Image Comics. Take a look for that. And I'll be right back here with Mr. Mark Radulich talking some Forbidden Door a little bit later on this month. Can't wait.
You'll be back. You'll actually be back next week. Hell in the Cell is June 5th.
I knew that.
Yes, Hell in the Cell is June 5th. We will be reviewing it June 7th. Presumably Christine will be there. Maybe not. I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
He is a wizard. He comes when he means to. Speaking of wizards, this has been Terminator week. It's the week of my birthday. So I don't want to record all that much. But so Monday we dropped our 2015 review of Terminator Genesis. But I did record, as a matter of fact. Me and Harry Broadhurst did the best of the collective. So we had already done reviews for Effie's Big Gay Brunch, Bloodsport, and For the Culture, and Joey Janela's Spring Break. This was our chance to play catch up with the rest of the 97 shows of the collective. We gave our top 10, the best 5 matches, the ones we'd already watched. We touched on each show. We had a really fun discussion. Pat Mullen was there to tell us we were wrong in everything that we said, which is always a good time. And then he made fun of my daughter for being a feminist. You know, a almost 40-year-old man picked on an 11-year-old, bullied an 11-year-old girl. It's
wow. I don't even know what to say to that.
Nothing, if you know what's good for you. And then yesterday we dropped our Long Road to Ruin discussion from a few years back on the first 3 Terminator movies. We were supposed to do a triple feature celebrating the beginning of LGBTQ plus Pride Month, Stonewall, Basic Instinct, and I'm a Cheerleader. We might be doing that tonight, depending on how the rest of my night goes. As well as we might be doing a review of Def Leppard, Diamond Star Halos, depending on how the rest of my night goes. Tomorrow, I'm going to take my family to go. It's my birthday. I'm 46 years young, and I'm taking my family to go see Bob's Burgers. In the meantime, In the meantime,
well, listen. At least there'll be 4 people paid to see that movie. That's great.
At least. We'll be dropped first part of our Terminator Everyone Loves a Bad Guy. I think it's the very, very first Everyone Loves a Bad Guy that Robert ever did. So the part 1 that I'm on will be airing tomorrow, and then part 2, which was done several years later for some odd reason, will air on June 3rd. In the meantime, Chris Bailey, I'm having a birthday party, and nobody's invited except my 2 best friends, Robert Winfrey and Jesse Starcher. And you want to know why?
Oof.
My
Why
birthday part, my exclusive birthday party is going to be us talking the latest David Simon jam. We own this city. Be jealous. Yeah. Be jealous.
My God, I am. I mean, nipples hard and everything. I don't understand.
I understand. Yes, we will be talking. We own this city. The latest David Simon jam. That's how I want to spend my birthday. At least on my birthday. I can tell you how I'm spending my birthday on Saturday, but that's a private conversation. And then that's that. And Saturday, we have an Everyone Loves a Bad Guy that features dinosaurs and dragons, and that's gearing up for the release of Jurassic World Dominion. So check out all of the Radulich and Broadcasting content on W2Mnet. For Neil and his movies that don't suck and some that do, and for Chris of the Superblog Team Up, I'm Mark Radulich, and I have opinions, and I'm going to tell those opinions to you in vascular detail. Be well, be safe, and behave.